Welcome back to our deep dive. Now, you've probably heard the words karma and rebirth thrown around quite a bit. They pop up everywhere. But what if a lot of what we think we know, what if it's actually, well, a bit off? A common misunderstanding. We've looked at things like impermanence before, and today we're getting into something really foundational, the actual mechanics, behind karma and rebirth and how they directly shape your own experience.
That's exactly right. Yeah, our goal today is to really clarify how karma, and this is key, it's not just your actions, but your intentions. And rebirth, which is about the continuation of consciousness, not some unchanging soul, how these two are really deeply linked. Think of it less like, I don't know, some kind of cosmic judge, and more like a natural law, cause and effect. Universal. Yeah. And what that does is it puts the real responsibility, the agency for your future right back in your own hands.
Okay, so what does that actually mean for you listening? It's not about like everything being decided already or some judge handing out scores. It's more about seeing this incredible power, often kind of hidden, of your own intentions and, well, the results they naturally bring into your life, both now and, beyond. Okay, let's really dig into this. Karma, when most people hear that word, the picture's often like a cosmic vending machine, right? Put in good deeds, get good luck back, do bad things, uh-oh, bad luck's coming. But based on these teachings we're looking at, that's really just scratching the surface. What's the actual core of karma?
Yeah, the Buddha was incredibly clear about this. Karma, or Kamma in the Pali language, is primarily defined as volition or intention. And that's so important because it means the real karmic kick, the force, isn't just from the action you see on the outside. It's the mental thing, the impulse, the will behind it. That's what drives our actions, physical, verbal, even purely mental ones.
Right. So if intention is the main ingredient, could you have the exact same action outwardly, leading to totally different karmic results? Can you give us an example, something that really shows that difference?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, think about helping someone, let's say helping an elderly person cross a busy street. Now, if you do that purely out of genuine compassion, you see they're struggling, you want to help ease that, that's a wholesome intention, a good volitional act. But say someone else does the exact same thing, helps the same person, but their only thought is, oh, people are watching, this will make me look good. Wah, wah. See, the outward action is identical, helping, but the intention inside. One is compassionate, the other is self-serving. And that difference, that's what shapes the karmic imprint, not just the visible act.
Okay, and that's where it gets really, really interesting. So karma isn't some like magical outside force deciding things or just random luck. You said it's described like a natural law, almost like gravity. What does that actually imply then for the results of our intentions?
It implies a kind of natural consequence. Wholesome intentions, kindness, generosity, understanding they naturally tend to lead towards pleasant experiences, positive results, maybe in this life, maybe down the line. And conversely, unwholesome intentions, greed, anger, delusion, they naturally pave the way for unpleasant results, for suffering. It's not punishment, it's just effect following cause, which really makes you think, doesn't it? If your intentions are the real architects here, how conscious are you of yours? Are you really aware of what's driving you?
That leads perfectly into the other half of this, rebirth. Now, lots of people hear rebirth and immediately think reincarnation. The idea of a fixed soul, like a little marble popping out of one body and into another. But these teachings offer something, well, quite different, more subtle. How did the Buddha actually describe rebirth?
Exactly. And if we link this back, remember we talked about Anatta, the teaching that there isn't a permanent, unchanging self or soul. Well, if there's no fixed thing like a soul, then logically there's nothing permanent to be reborn in that traditional sense. Instead, what continues is more like a stream of consciousness carrying the karmic energy, the patterns, the tendencies. It's a continuum of cause and effect that conditions the next existence.
Okay, but without that permanent soul, that marble, how can we picture this continuation? Is there a good analogy, a classic one maybe, that helps make it clearer?
Yes, there's a very famous one, and it's quite insightful. It's the analogy of passing a flame from one candle to another. Think about it. The flame on the second candle. Is it the exact same flame as the first? No, it's a new flame. But is it completely unrelated? Also no. It arose directly because of the first flame. It's a direct continuation of that energy, that process. So similarly, at the moment of death, the very last flicker of consciousness in one life, heavily conditioned by all the karma built up, it acts as the immediate condition for the very first flicker of consciousness in the next life. No soul jumping across, but an unbroken causal link.
Ah, I see. So the new life isn't totally separate, a blank slate, But it's also not the exact same person, just in a new body. What does that continuity, that connection mean for who we are right now?
Right. It's described as neither the same nor entirely different. It's a flow, a dynamic process. And this helps explain why, the personality traits you have, your inclinations, your talents, even your fears. From this perspective, they're understood as the direct result of karmic actions and intentions from past lives. Your present self is deeply shaped by this unseen history of choices, this stream of causes and effects.
Okay, let's connect the dots now. We have karma driven by intention and rebirth, the continuation of this conscious stream. How do they actually work together to drive this whole cycle of existence, the thing often called samsara?
Well, basically, our actions, particularly those driven by what are called the defilements, things like craving, wanting, aversion, pushing away, and fundamental ignorance about how things really are, these constantly generate karmic energy, ripples in the stream. Now, when the physical body dies, that accumulated karmic momentum, that energy doesn't just vanish, poof. Instead, it acts as the driving force, the primary condition that shapes and propels consciousness towards a new birth. And what's really critical to grasp here is that your next rebirth isn't some random lottery. It's seen as the natural, logical consequence of the sum total of your intentions and actions throughout this life and previous ones too.
Wow. That understanding, it feels incredibly empowering, actually, doesn't it? It really shifts things. It means we're not just, puppets dancing on the strings of fate. We are, in a very real sense, the architects building our own experience moment by moment. So practically speaking, what does knowing this mean for how we live our lives day to day?
Yeah, it's hugely practical. It means that by consciously, intentionally cultivating wholesome states of mind, thoughts of generosity, genuine kindness, compassion, wisdom, you are actively creating the causes and conditions for a better future. A more peaceful, happier experience, both within this life and potentially in future ones. But, and this is an important but, while aiming for a better rebirth, a happier future life might seem like a good goal, and it's certainly better than the alternative. It's not actually the ultimate aim of the path laid out in these teachings. There's something beyond just getting a better deal next time around.
Okay, right. So if getting a 5-star rebirth isn't the final destination, what is? What's the actual liberation that these teachings point towards? What's the real finish line?
The ultimate goal is nirvana, which is often translated, perhaps inadequately, as extinguishing or quenching what's being extinguished. It's the fires of greed, hatred, and delusion. These three are seen as the absolute root causes of all our unwholesome actions, the very engine driving the whole cycle of suffering and rebirth. Nirvana is the complete cessation of these fires, the ending of that cycle.
And how? How do we get there? How does someone actually go about, putting out these fires, ending this seemingly endless cycle?
The how is laid out in what's called the Noble Eightfold Path. It's a comprehensive framework involving ethical conduct, mental discipline like meditation, and developing wisdom or insight. Through consistently practicing these path factors, we gradually start to purify our intentions. We see more clearly, we act more skillfully. As those unwholesome roots, greed, hatred, delusion weaken, we stop creating the kind of karma that fuels rebirth. The momentum slows down. And eventually, this process allows the whole cycle of birth and death to just cease, leading to what's described as unconditioned freedom, liberation from all suffering.
What really stands out from all this is that understanding karma and rebirth, it isn't about feeling doomed or fated. It's actually the opposite. It's about stepping up and taking full responsibility for your life, for your mind, realizing that every choice, especially the intention behind it, really matters. It echoes. Yeah, this whole deep dive has really, I think, highlighted that profound link, that undeniable connection between our inner world, what's going on in our heads, our intentions, and the outer world, the consequences we experience.
Yeah.
It's just such a powerful reminder that who you are isn't fixed. It's a process, and it's being shaped constantly, not just by what you do, but much more importantly, by why you're doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And building on that, this understanding really empowers you, doesn't it? It shows you're actively co-creating your future, not by, wishing on a star or just hoping for good luck, but by consciously, deliberately cultivating those wholesome intentions, those positive states of mind. It really underscores the active, dynamic role you play in how your own story unfolds. It's quite something when you really let that sink in.
So here's something to think about. Considering this idea that your current personality, your tendencies, maybe even some of your struggles, are seen as the result of past karma, past intentions. What's one conscious, intentional action, maybe something small, maybe something bigger, that you could choose to take today, right now, specifically to cultivate the kind of future experience you genuinely desire? What seed could you plant?